Hi guys, hello and welcome to Digital Jamaica. Let me go live on I am live. So guys, I am testing the new StreamYard Instagram live situation because now with StreamYard, you can actually go live on Instagram. And so I'm testing to see if I'm actually live on Instagram. Am I live on Instagram? Ooh, wait a minute. I'm not seeing it come up yet. I'm seeing it on my desktop. Hey guys, Instagram. Oh my god, it's working. It's working and this is awesome and I love it. It is very user friendly, can I tell you? So, anyways, let me do my official welcome. Hey, Happy New Year. Katie Francis here. I am so excited about tonight's show because it's my first show for the year. And let me tell you something. I have struggled with whether or not I wanted to continue doing Digital Jamaica Live because it's a lot of work that goes into live streaming, right? So I've been struggling with whether or not I want to do it. But there's a project that I was supposed to be doing that kind of fell through. And a part of that project was going live. So I was like, listen, we already have this topic. I'm already prepared. Let's go. But instead of just me sitting down here talking to you guys, why not invite some people who knows what they're talking about on social media, because they've been killing it. They've been absolutely killing it on social media despite all the foolishness and all the mess that's been going on with social media. They've managed to keep their platform, they've managed to maintain their followership, and they've managed to grow their platform. And I'm like, let me call up some of these people because I've been watching. Because listen, I am perpetually online. Misa online kete, right? And so I'm watching and looking who's doing what. I'm like, you know what? Let me call up some of these people and say, you need to come and talk to me and tell me what you have been doing because it's working and I want to steal it and I want everybody else to know what it is so they can steal it too. And they're like, yes. So here we are doing this live and I'm excited about it. And welcome to my Instagram peeps because it's the first time I've been able to go live on Instagram in like 2 years. StreamYard, big up on yourself. Big up on yourself because now, and I am not promoting StreamYard at all. I'm not an ambassador. They're not sponsoring me. But let me tell you something. When you find a tool that works too well, you have to tell people. You have to tell people. So I am multi-streaming right now to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram through StreamYard. And this is a new feature that they've introduced recently. So, guys, let me tell you something. Right off the bat, one of the things I want you to do this year is I want you to start live streaming. Now, I know some of us are not very confident on camera, and this that you're seeing here is my camera personality. I'm not usually this in person, but when you're on camera, you have to switch it on. But one of the best advice I got was from Jermaine. And you're going to hear from Jermaine earlier. Jermaine is like, why pre-record when you can live stream? Because when you live stream, at the end of the stream, the video is there. The video is there. You ain't got to do nothing else with it because it's already on the platforms that you want to live stream to. Now, the benefit of that is that you're now having long form content, and with StreamYard, you can download the video, chop that video up into multiple pieces, and post it everywhere. Because short form video, even though it's like taking over the place because TikTok, people still will watch long form video. And you know how I know? Because I know some of y'all watch that 2.5, almost 3 hour Cat Williams sus video, sus session, right? I know y'all watch that on Club Shay Shay. So people do watch long form content if it's interesting, if the topic is something that they're interested in hearing. But it's long form content, which means it's highly repurposable. So you're killing several birds with one stone. So my first advice to you guys this year, because every social media platform is now pushing short form content, the best way to produce high quality short form content consistently is to go live or to do long form content that is highly repurposable. So that's my first tip for tonight. But you're not gonna hear a lot from me. You're gonna hear more from my guests. Now there's a 10-second delay um over on Instagram. So I'm like 10 seconds behind over on Instagram. So that's like the one glitch I've found so far with this StreamYard Instagram connection. But it's fine. We move. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Get your pen and your paper, because you know, if it's one thing I am good for, is to giving you all the information, all the tea. I don't hold anything back because I think there's room for all of us to do well. There's room for all of us to do well. And so I don't mind sharing with you guys what I know. And my first guest is here. My first guest is here, and this guy is doing some amazing, amazing things over on LinkedIn. Sorry, not LinkedIn, on Instagram. So I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to talk about like Instagram, because he has a huge following, and I call him a mega creator. He's like, me, mega creator. Yes, you have over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Hello. But he's also been able to transition his success on Instagram to TikTok. And TikTok to me is like the next YouTube. It is not easy. It's not easy to show up on TikTok. TikTok audience remind me of Jamaican stage show audience. It's a tough bunch. They're a tough bunch of people, right? And they're very stingy with them comments, and I'm very stingy with them likes. And so you have to really impress them, especially because it's a Gen Z platform, and the Gen Z audience, them special, and they have very particular demands, and they like a very particular type of human entertainment. And if you're not providing that, I mean, if you have a big brand like Dr. Miami doing the trains and to get views, then you see what I'm talking about, right? So you have to, it's about the kind of audience that you're attracting on the different platforms. And one of the comments in the chat says, but once they support you is 100% facts. Once you get the TikTok audience, the Gen Z crowd in your corner, you have them until you do something really ridiculous and stupid, and then they will cancel you so fast. They don't care. But I'm going to bring him on. His name is Justin Whitelock, and he is the face behind the Justin JA brand. So please help me welcome Justin. Hi, Justin. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
We're not hearing you, Justin.
You're not hearing me? You hearing me now?
I was hearing you fine not too long ago, but I'm not hearing you so well now.
How about now?
Still not here. You want to unplug and...
Sure. 1 second.
Yeah. Justin is adjusting his audio for us, guys. Have you guys... you guys are hearing Justin, so it's me is the problem. Is the problem, Justin. Hold on. Let me check my audio settings. Justin, jump on again and say something. Let me see if I can hear you.
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Okay, it's definitely me. Say something again. Justin?
Something again. Yeah, still not hearing me?
No. Okay. Why is this happening? Okay. One more time, Justin.
You hear me now?
Yes. Guys, no, what happened? Have mercy, Father. You guys remember that with a Google Chrome tab, you could right click in the search bar and mute the tab. Well, you can't do that anymore because Google Chrome bugging. And so I downloaded this extension that enables me to mute the tab because I'm also live on Instagram on my browser, and it's muted everything. And that's why I couldn't hear nothing. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry, Justin. Welcome to Digital
But you
Jamaica
hear me
Live.
okay now?
I'm
No,
hearing
but
you
that's fine.
fabulously. I'm hearing you fine now.
Thank
I'm
you so
hearing
much
you
for
fine
having me.
now. Thank you so much for being
All right,
here,
great.
Justin. Justin, tell us about Instagram. How did you manage to? First of all, how long have you been on Instagram?
All right, so I actually joined Instagram in 2021. And it just started out as me. So the places that I used to go to with my friends, I would take pictures and, they would kind of boost me up and say, oh, your pictures don't look too bad. You should post them online. So one day randomly, it was in February, I just decided to start Instagram. And I would just try and post consistently. And it was when they actually introduced Reels into the Caribbean, into Jamaica. That's when things kind of took off a little bit more for me in terms of my reach and gaining more followers.
Yeah, but Justin, you didn't just gain more followers. You're over 100,000 followers right now. How long did it take you to get to 100K?
So um, I would have reached 100 last year. So it would have been about 2 years of just posting consistently. And
Mm-hmm.
I was able to try and kind of find what works for me in terms of, so the audience on Instagram mainly are people who just love all things Jamaican. So after realizing that, I was able to capitalize on that. So use Jamaican audios, people like reggae music, and the type of content that I was putting out, they really enjoyed it, relating to Jamaican lifestyle, Jamaican travel, that type of thing.
No, but what was the span of time though? From when you started taking off, where were you? What number were you at?
So I probably was at about 6,000.
Yeah.
So at the start of, yeah, so towards the end of 2021, probably I was at about 6,000, and
Mm.
then 2022, 8,000, and then,
So, no, continue. I'm just aghast.
yeah, so, right, so really since it was Reels, so posting out of Reels started to attract new followers for me. So then from throughout the year 2022 going to
Right.
2023, it was kind of moving up by the thousands, which was also shocking to me, really, to see the page just growing like that and not really sure how
Right.
to manage that larger audience that was kind of coming on board.
So Justin, you're telling me that it took you 2 years to go from 6K to 160K?
It was pretty fast. It was almost overnight. Even now, I'm still in awe. Sometimes I can't really believe that that's all of this is happening. It felt fast.
Wow, wow. Because this is what happened when you hit on a niche. When you hit on a niche that works and you're doing something different, but you're tapping into certain things that are let me say nostalgic, because there's a nostalgia around Jamaican content online,
There is.
and your videos give me real feel good island breeze chill vibe, and I think people absolutely love that because one, if you're not in here, and you can tell me where your audience are, they local or are they most of your audience overseas, do you know?
So it's a mixture. So majority of the audience actually are in the United States,
Yeah.
Canada, and the UK, and then the rest is Jamaica.
Oh, okay, okay. So you do have a wide audience. So I think a part of that is the nostalgia, but also the chill and the quality. The quality is high. The
Thank
quality
you.
is high. What are you using to record your guys? I'm getting all the tea. What are you using to record? Your phone or what?
Yeah, so I actually use my phone. It's an
Yeah.
iPhone. No issue with Android, but it's an iPhone.
Fire.
Um,
We can
so
forgive
I
that
learned
one infraction. Okay, but go
I
on.
learned over time, right? So I record in 4K at between 30 and 60. I kind of interchange FPS.
Uh-huh.
So that records in high quality, and then when I actually edit, I export in high quality as well. So based on the platform. So
Yeah.
sometimes the recommendation is to export in 1080p at 30
Mhm.
frames per second, or sometimes I actually export in 4K as well.
Okay. And so, what you edit with? What's your editing tool?
I mainly use CapCut. I find it to be very
On your
user
phone?
friendly,
On your
especially for
phone or
short.
on the
Yeah,
desktop?
I do everything on my phone. I actually do everything on
Oh,
my phone. So shoot on my phone, edit on my phone, post on my phone. Everything is phone based for me right now.
guys, hands up who wants a session with Justin teaching us how to create videos with CapCut on the phone. Hands up who would come to a session with Justin teaching us how to create videos at CapCut. Because CapCut stressed me out. But Justin, really why I wanted to talk to you today is because of your TikTok transition. So when did you move from so you've conquered Instagram at this point because with 160,000 followers, you're pretty much
Oh.
conquered Instagram. So when did you decide to transition now over to TikTok, and how did you know what did you work? Was it like you're like, okay, this formula worked on Instagram, I'm gonna try it on TikTok, or did you do something different?
So TikTok was the same year. It would have been a few months after starting on Instagram. And I actually didn't go in with any real concrete plan. At the time, it
Yeah.
was really just kind of just off of vibes. But I slowly learned that starting out on TikTok, that the same thing that I was doing on Instagram wouldn't really work so well on TikTok. So it took a lot of trial and error on TikTok to kind of find out how exactly to navigate that platform
Mhm.
different from Instagram. The
So
good
how
thing
long?
is that
Sorry.
mhm.
The good thing.
Oh, the good thing is that you're right. So it's still short form video content. So a lot of what I would use on Instagram, even though it's not the same exact thing that I may post on TikTok, I could
Mhm.
easily repurpose what I was using on Instagram to fit it more to the TikTok audience.
So let me ask you a question. When you capture a video, right? Is it that you repost do you cross platform where you're reposting the exact same video from your Instagram to TikTok, or do you use different parts of the video to post in the different locations? So what's the strategy?
So, I mean, occasionally from time to time, I may post the same exact thing, but
Mhm.
most of the time, I will actually repurpose the video. So, edit it differently, change it up, add different clips, do it in a whole different way, different audio to make it
Mhm.
more suited for TikTok. It usually
Right.
does better that way as opposed to posting the same exact thing.
So you select different parts of the clip, and or you add different audio and you add different
Right.
audio. Okay,
Both.
because you
Yeah.
see, guys, that's a little trick there when you're creating content. Sometimes it's you get stressed out because you're thinking, oh my god, I'm like on four different platforms and I don't know what to put on each. You can, a simple thing as selecting a different part of a clip, or changing the caption, or changing the sound, as Justin said, can really enhance or optimize the same piece of content for a different platform. But you have to know your audience. So Justin, with your audience on
Right.
TikTok, how are they different from your audience on Instagram?
So, for Instagram, usually I would expect that it's a slightly more mature audience. So they
Mm-hmm.
come on Instagram expecting a certain style of video, a
Mm-hmm.
certain sound to the video, and they appreciate that. And nothing is wrong with that. But
Mm-hmm.
the difference is for TikTok, it allows me to explore my creative side a little bit more. So I can
Mm-hmm.
play around with the audio. It doesn't necessarily have to be a local audio like a reggae sound or a dancehall sound. It can really be anything that's trending.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, for TikTok as well, I can sometimes play around with satire and comedy. So I can introduce things that may make people laugh and they can enjoy it and people understand it, which may not necessarily happen with the Instagram audience.
Mm-hmm.
I find that the TikTok audience relates more to things that are trendy. So, I mean, if you want to incorporate something about music, maybe like a beef that's happening in dancehall, or you find a way to incorporate that into your niche, and people will get that on TikTok and they'll enjoy it more there.
Okay, so I want to point our watchers or viewers to something you just said, which is so critical. You said that your audience on Instagram like a certain thing, they're expecting a certain thing, and so you're catering to that. So in my mind, an Instagram audience are elder millennials, I like to call them. So you have young millennials to elder millennials, or middle age millennials to elder millennials, and you're talking about an age group from say like 25 all the way up to like 45. That's like an age group on Instagram. And so yes, they like the excitement and they like to be entertained, but not too much of the ray. That's not what they're on Instagram for. But TikTok is a Gen Z audience. Gen Z and young millennials rule TikTok. And so they want to engage in the hype and the excitement, and that's what they're expecting to see, because TikTok is an entertainment platform, not a social media platform. And TikTok, that's how they even describe themselves. TikTok describe themselves as an entertainment platform, and have said that they are not Instagram, they're nothing like Facebook, because they're all about entertainment and discovery. So if you understand how the platform
Right.
works, you understand what the audience expects to see, and you just need to tweak your content to match your audience's expectations. So I just wanted to point the audience to that, because I thought that was
Exactly.
very important. What is one critical element of TikTok that is often overlooked by creators but is very fundamental? It's something that you should absolutely be doing if you want to get engagement and you want to become visible. And I know that's a
Well,
tough one.
yeah, that's a tricky one. But I mean, I just have to probably relate it to my personal experience, so it may be a
Mhm,
little bit different from what you have in mind. For me, the thing about TikTok that is unique, I think,
mhm,
is the reach is a bit different. So with the
mhm,
algorithm on the For You page, I always have it in my mind that I can reach new people every single
mhm,
time. So sometimes I find on Instagram that it's usually the same community, the same persons that I tend to interact with. But with TikTok, one video today may reach a whole different person tomorrow, next
mhm,
week. So I always try to keep that in mind to keep things a little bit fresh. So don't always
mhm.
necessarily post the same thing. Can post different things, different styles, different forms of content, and it reaches new people every day. And if the content is interesting, if it's creative, if it's purposeful, you tend to attract followers from those new posts on TikTok each time.
Okay. Next question for you. What should I be posting in terms of content? What is the most popular niches or genres on TikTok that creators should be tapping into to get those views?
Well, honestly, I think I mean, it depends on what exactly you like. So the most popular niche may not necessarily align with what you want to do exactly. Because I think
Mm-hmm,
the most popular things on TikTok are actually like dancing. I think at the root of it, people still enjoy dancing on TikTok.
mm-hmm,
I think food is another one, travel is another one. But even though those may necessarily be the most popular ones there, I
mm-hmm.
think you can still find your own avenue, your own lane, your own niche on TikTok and just make that work for you.
For sure. TikTok to me is like YouTube. Every niche is on TikTok. You have book talk, you have crime talk, you have all sorts of different mom talk. You have all sorts of different kind of subgroupings on TikTok, and they all have their own unique rules to participate or to become a part of the community. They all have their own different, unique, weird rules or whatever. And as long as you kind of
Hmm.
stay within that, the rules, you'll be fine, and you'll find your audience, especially if you're trying to expand your audience to not necessarily just local people, but maybe more regional, more international. Then
Right.
definitely try and find that community that already exists, and try to participate in that community and build up your visibility within that community, and then expand outwards, right? What is one TikTok trend that you have tried that has absolutely failed? It did not work, none at all. They lied to you. What was that one trend that absolutely failed?
Well, I don't know if it's so much a trend or more probably more of a feature.
Yeah.
and it's a personal thing. So for me, uh, duets and stitches are very popular on TikTok. So people
Yes.
will use parts of other person's videos and just kind of work with that. Or sometimes even people see people just sitting and eating while the other video is playing beside them, and it works. Some people have their whole platform based on that. Me personally, I haven't really enjoyed that trend or that feature on TikTok. It doesn't really work so well for me, but
Yeah.
it's there, and some people make it work for them.
Okay, so I know earlier, and this is your final question because we're going through a lot tonight, guys, and so I don't want to keep Justin long, and my other guest is on. So Justin, the last question for you is: apart from the workshop where you're going to do on CapCut, because the people wants the workshop, Justin, right? New income stream, Justin. Apart from CapCut, what other tools would you recommend in terms of content creation? I see Pink Peach says, my issue is the background music. I only get a max of 1 minute audio. Listen, I've not been able to figure out posting on TikTok. I tried it a couple times. I did not like it. But what other tools, whether it's something that's on your phone or on your desktop, what other tools would you recommend in terms of creating content for TikTok?
It's interesting that you say other than CapCut, because that for me really is the foundation for
Yeah.
TikTok videos, because actually I think they do share the same parent company, so it's very easy to use CapCut and edit on CapCut, and
And
you
they're
can post
linked.
straight to TikTok right
Yeah.
away. Right, it's
Yeah.
linked. Um, Other tools, personally, I don't really make use of many other tools. But
Mhm.
what I'd recommend is just doing research. So watching YouTube videos, looking online to see what people use that
Mhm.
may work for you. So if
Yeah.
they use other apps, if they do courses online, those type of things, you have to just see what works for you. But for me, really, the foundation is CapCut.
CapCut. One last question. I know I said that was the last question, but this is really the last question. Um, how often do you post on TikTok? Is there like a sweet spot for how often you should be posting on TikTok?
What I've found that works well for me is to probably post 3 to 4 times per week. I
Mhm.
usually intend to be a little bit more structured, but sometimes it can get a little haphazard along the way. But
Mhm.
3 to 4 times per week, I think works well, because one, you're not really overwhelming people, even though some people it works for them if you want to post daily. It doesn't really
Mhm.
work so well for me. I think it can get a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I think a nice sweet spot is about 3 to 4 times per week, because one, it keeps the content consistent, so people are looking forward to you posting,
Mhm.
and they don't feel oversaturated, so they can still enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin. Guys, go and check him out. He's just underscore it. Justin, what's your handle? Just
So it's
underscore,
just in JA, so JUST_IN_JA.
and that's on both TikTok and Instagram.
TikTok and Instagram, yeah, correct.
Guys, thank you so much, Justin, for being here. We really appreciate you. If you have any questions for Justin, drop them in the comment section or in the chat over on YouTube. Justin, will you join us in the chat over on Instagram to answer some of those questions? And I will share the answers to those questions right here in the chat on YouTube. Thank you so much,
Sure,
Justin.
definitely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, wait, Justin, anything that you have coming up that you want people to know about? What's going on with you that you want people to know about?
Uh, Well, nothing specific right now. Just as you said before, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, my YouTube. I'm on a little hiatus right now. I had started YouTube last year,
Mhm.
but I'm going to
Yeah.
pick up back on it this year. So you
Mhm.
can look out for some good, high quality content on YouTube as well. Same handle,
Awesome. Awesome. Same handle,
same name.
just underscore in underscore JA. Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
it.
so much. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much. Guys, listen, try TikTok. I just know it's not for me. It's not for me. TikTok stress me out. TikTok stress me out. I'm absolutely scared of TikTok, guys, and I'm not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna front. Absolutely scared of it, TikTok. But we're gonna move right along. We're gonna move right along because my next guest is here. Now, guys, this is somebody that I am absolutely fond of. I talk about her all the time. She is a case study for me in my courses. Anytime I have a course where I'm talking about how to be authentic and how to inject personality into your content and how to just be your absolute awesome amazing self online, I talk about her all the time. And all my students will tell you that I talk about her all the time. She's in all my slides, in all my classes where I'm teaching digital marketing or social media marketing. I'm not even lying. Guys, please help me welcome Miss Wanga Gyal, Tiana Chung. Tiana,
Hi.
welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you here. You're one of my absolute faves. You know that. You know that.
Ah, thanks for having
You're
me. I just realized my teeth are green. I don't know why
it's the
it's doing
background.
that,
It's
but
the
yeah,
background.
here we are. Here we
It,
are.
it, it matches your brand. It matches your brand. It matches your
There we
brand.
go. There we go.
Welcome, Tiana. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, Tiana, you've been doing the do on Instagram.
Girl, I've been trying. I'm a trying girl. I feel like that's my response to everybody. I'm like, I'm a trying girl.
You've been doing the do on Instagram because I remember Tiana at 3,000 and then 6,000. And then I'm like, yeah, good day. And then 7, I know you're 13K. I'm like, what? In this time, these days and times, you're still growing. Tiana, tell
Yes.
me what you're doing on Instagram that
Um,
that sees you continuously just growing and expanding and growing and expanding. What's going on?
honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I can't even go around the thing. I don't have like a formula to give you.
Yeah,
Whereas I know like a lot of people will say do this to get this, like absolutely not. I don't have a formula. But what I can tell you that I do is that I try, my focus for Wanga Gal has always been community. It's never been becoming an influencer, right?
right.
It's never been about trying to become famous and trying to get all of these things. It was just a love for food and building a shared community around that love. And I think making the choice to show up almost every day, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just don't want to open Instagram. um but I try every day to like at least show up in my stories
Mm-hmm.
just to relate to my audience in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has played a very, very, very big role, alongside working with a lot of well-known local brands. That has definitely worked to my advantage in 2023. And big up the Juicy Patty, big up Yellow, big up all the brands that I've been able to work with
Pepsi,
in
because girl, me see
2023.
you
Big
everywhere.
up Pepsi, big
Yeah.
up Jamaica Food and Drink. Like, 2023 was crazy, in terms of like just how much not only my page has grown, but I think my authority in the food blogging space has grown.
For
And
sure.
just like Justin, I was shook. Like, I'm still shook to this day that like people even know what Wanga Gal is. So yeah,
But
I
but
think just choosing to show up.
but Tiana, Maka ask, do you reach out to these brands or is it because you're showing up why you're becoming visible to them and they're like, we like what you do, your personality is popping, we like what you do, you have an audience that we want to get in front of, let's work together? Or are you actively reaching out to these brands to say, hey, come talk to me, let's work together? What's the strategy there?
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna run a thing. It's actually on my 2024 plan to
Uh-huh.
pitch myself this
Right.
year. And that
Yes.
is to start pitching. I have actually never pitched myself to a brand before.
Is it no?
Um even though, like, I mean, I work in the digital marketing space, so I know the importance of pitching oneself.
Uh-huh.
um but it's just, I must say, I am very, very grateful that I've been privileged in that way. That, as you rightfully said, I think it's just a matter of, I show up every day, I make a damn fool of myself on the internet all the time.
And we love
And
it.
and I think a lot of these brands are, interested in using, me and my personality. And um I don't mind, because it helps me to grow in more ways than one. And
Right.
yeah, so it's kind
In
of just worked out for me.
it's Listen, guys, let me tell you something. When you are intentional about the kind of content that you're creating and you're absolutely your most authentic and fabulous and amazing self, you'll be surprised the kind of things that come your way. Because as I said, Tiana, you've been doing the thing, and we've been seeing you doing the thing consistently over a sustained period of time. My question to you is, in 2024, what's more important, followers or engagement? Where do you land? Engagement or followers?
Personally, I think engagement is more important, because
Right.
I feel like you could have, and I see it all the time, you could have thousands of followers and nobody is engaging with your content. Um Nobody is actually nobody else is playing an active role in your content. And then it's like, what's the point when these
Yeah.
brands, not even just when these brands are looking on, but like for me, I love to see how engaged my community is. Like when
Yeah.
I make a post, I am looking out for the DMs, I'm looking out for the comments, because I have had the ability to start so many conversations with people. And I
Mhm.
think that has the power to be way more effective than just the amount of people that follow you, because many people could follow you, but who is seeing
Yeah.
you, you know um
Exactly.
especially with how the algorithm goes nowadays. It's like, you could have so many followers and your content still just isn't hitting. And I think I was actually on TikTok the other day watching one of my friends, Renee Moncrief, who is a influencer herself. She's also the regional brand manager, I believe, of Digicel. And
Mhm.
she made a video on TikTok talking about how there are content creators and there are influencers. And a lot of
Yes.
times we conflate those two. And I
Mhm.
think as somebody who wants to go into content creation, you need to decide what is your goal. Are you trying to be a content creator? Meaning, are you trying to, get brand partnerships because of the amazing content that you produce? Is
Mhm.
your focus working with brands to further them, or is your
Mhm.
focus you as a brand?
Yeah.
you know and I
And where's
feel
the happy
like,
medium? Where's the happy
yes,
medium?
where is the happy medium? But I think being very, very, very clear on what you want to do. Like for me, I'm very clear that I'm not trying to be an influencer. Like I am not trying, and love influencers. I love watching them and I love enjoying their content, but that's not my goal necessarily.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think just knowing what you want to do will help to kind of make you figure out whether engagement or followers is more important to you in a way.
Yeah, I know you said you didn't set out to be an influencer, but you are. You are.
It,
But what do you think is better, a brand ambassadorship kind of partnership or an influencer kind of partnership? Which do you think works better or is better
um,
for you, for your brand in the long
yeah,
run?
that's where it is. Because I think as an influencer, I mean, in my opinion, being a brand ambassador always works out better. Well, not always, but for the most part, you'd want it because it creates some sort of long-term relationship, right?
Mhm.
And I always think long-term relationships are so fulfilling in a way. Like the fact that to me, I am not necessarily I'm not necessarily signed to Juicy as a brand ambassador, but
Mhm.
we have such a long-standing relationship that people know me as the juicy girl. Like people tell me, oh, them
Yes.
see me on Instagram, I eat patty. And you know, I think things like that, when you are able to curate such a nice relationship with not only a brand but with your
Mhm.
community at large, it works out so much better than just being an influencer doing a one-off post saying, hey, drink this drink because I'm posing in a picture for this one-off ad, if you get what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
there, you build more trust when you have a more long-term relationship with
Relationship.
the brand. Yeah.
And you can probably make some more money. You can make some,
Yeah, you know.
Tiana, wrapping up with your last two questions. So,
Yes.
what is the number one thing I should know when negotiating with a brand? So, they've contacted me and they want me to work with them, whether as an influencer or a brand ambassador. What is the number one thing I should know when I'm entering into negotiations with these brands? Because some of them tricky, you know. Some of them tricky,
Yeah. Some of them
right?
tricky. Some of
And
them
someone
tricky
that will
bad.
yes, and someone that will ask you to do things that are not in line with your brand and that can mess up your brand. So going
Yeah.
in with a clear and level head, what is one thing that you absolutely need to do when you're negotiating or need to know when you're negotiating with a brand?
When it come on to money, I tell everybody, shoot high and let them negotiate down. First of all,
Ooh,
that's the number one rule.
shoot
If
high,
you
negotiate down. All right.
if you think you are worth $50,000, tell them you're gonna do the work for all 65, $70,000, and let
Mm-hmm.
them work their way down to the 50 if needs be.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to money, as it relates to, you know, I always think don't lose yourself trying to work with a brand. I think it's very important for all content creators and influencers out there to
Mm-hmm.
recognize your values and what you
Yeah.
want to personally align with. And like, don't be afraid to be, you know, to stand firm in that. Like, the one, I think one really good piece of advice that I got was, they're coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
You are, you know, they want to work with you. You are the prize, and you, not the prize in the sense of, you know, you're at some trophy, but you will help make them better. So you
Yep.
have the leverage. I think a lot of times, especially smaller content creators, we
Mm-hmm.
think that the brands are doing us a favor because working with the brand is going to give us a platform, which is true. But on the flip side, the brand is working with you to produce a piece of content for them to
Mm-hmm.
make them money. So, you know, do not be afraid to just stand in your worth and stand in your values and
Mm-hmm.
stand up on the money that you think you deserve.
For sure.
Yeah.
Last question, Tiana. What is a trend or strategy every creator should try this year that you are going to be trying and that you think everybody should try? Every
Oh
creator should try
gosh.
this year.
Wow, that is hard. Um, Honestly, I think a strategy that everybody should try this year is getting on their Instagram story, regardless
Mhm.
of how your content is performing on, and even like TikTok stories. I feel like Instagram stories more, but if you, even if your content is going, you know, performing very well on your TikTok, on your feed, on Instagram,
Mhm.
on Facebook, if you're over there, there is something about the intimacy of your IG story community, that whether you're selling a product or you're just trying to build a community or you're just trying to build a vibes, like, trust me, the people will, the people will appreciate it. So that's my strategy. I say
That's your
get
strategy.
on, you know, people say get on your Zoom,
Get on
get
your
on your
Zoom.
IG
Get it.
stories.
The vibes is in the stories, guys. The vibes in the stories. Tiana, is there anything you wanna is there anything you're doing that you want us to know about? I know you've launched Wanga Media. Look at you.
Yes.
Look at you, all grown up, all grown up.
Yes.
You have the
So
podcast.
yeah.
What's happening this year that we need to look out for from you?
Yeah, so well, I just officially launched Wanga Media in 20, you know, the end of 2023, which is a boutique digital marketing agency. We
Mhm.
do social media management, content creation, We even do copywriting and email marketing. So if you have a business that is interested in that kind of thing, please reach out to us. It's We Are Wonga on Instagram, as well as www.wearewonga.com. The people that have been bullying me to bring back the podcast, so I am trying my level best to get the podcast back.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So you can look out, and if you also missed if you don't know what the podcast is, go and listen to the previous episodes, because they're still up on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on everywhere.
And they're really good and fun.
Yes. So go and listen to the past ones, so you can come on my Instagram and bully me. I'm telling everybody, y'all need to bully me to bring it back, please.
We know you're booked and busy, but we love the podcast. I want to see, but we also love to see the growth and the expansion, girl. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thank you for
having me.
Every single time I said Tiana jump on a thing, she jump on the thing. Appreciate you, girl. Appreciate you.
Of course.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
you have questions for Tiana, Tiana is in the chat over on Instagram. She'll answer your questions over there. You can drop your questions here, and I'll get it to her over there, and she'll answer, and I'll paste it here. Listen, there's a whole pack moving part happening. Thank you, girl.
Bye.
Awesome. Bye. All right, moving straight into our next guest, because we're running behind time now. This guy offers the best advice, and I'm so happy that I can say he's my friend. I think he's my friend. I don't know if he thinks I'm his friend, but I think he's my friend. Listen, he gives the best advice. Top advice. He's not going to sugarcoat nothing for you, but the advice is always solid, especially if you want to grow your brand on YouTube. So we're going to be talking about YouTube next. And we're going to be talking about how he has been able to transition his YouTube success and his online success into this big excitement conference. What I'm having in December would be a big excitement. People are going to excuse you, sir. Listen, what if I'll have that short money? Like what? Guys, please help me welcome my friend Jermaine McDonald. Hi, Jermaine.
Wait, for a second, I wasn't sure you were talking about me, right? So I was like, I'm next? I wasn't sure.
Yes, you're next. You, Jermaine, yes.
I remember saying to you, I finally made it, because I'm being sought out for an interview, so it must be that I've done something. Right,
no, so. Jermaine, I've interviewed with you twice before. Don't even come on me sideways like that.
This time feels special.
Yes, because it's not about money and investment. It's about content, because you've been killing it with the content, and your YouTube has been growing. And now you're sure how much $100,000 conference, and I dash out how much hundreds of thousands of dollars I give people. What happened? Tell how we can do that too.
Well, I mean, so I'm a big believer in video content. I'm a big believer in YouTube. And as you hear in our content creation group, I believe in running YouTube as a business. So it's not even just like a hobby for me. And I'll ask the fellow, creators in the group, what are you doing? Is this a hobby? Is this a business? Is this something that you're hoping to make a living from? Because that's how I've always treated it. So it means that I'm approaching it as if I would approach a job, meaning I'm expecting to get paid, right? To make a living, to be able to see a return on that investment. Because video is, we've just surpassed, I think, 300 videos. So and our videos are at least 1 hour long on average, which means we have some videos that are 3 hours long, 4 hours long. And so if you calculate that for the last 4 years, it's a lot of work. So I think if you're doing something that consistently, it should be showing you something, right? So, that's.
Why did you choose YouTube in the first place? Because YouTube is like baptism by fire. It's one of the hardest platforms to grow on in my mind. Maybe it's just me. It's because it's so many people and so much content being produced. So why did you choose to go that route?
Well, look at it this way. for all the other platforms, right? Instagram, TikTok. If you create a really good piece of content now, in maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, is that content really still relevant? But with YouTube, you'll see videos being recommended that are 10 years old or 15 years
Yes.
old. So
Yes.
in my eyes, I do something now and it can possibly outlive me. Meaning even after I'm no longer on this earth, people should be able to watch my YouTube videos. So in my mind, it just made sense to do something on a platform where I could find that video or persons could find that video, because I'm not thinking that I'll still be creating content at 60. Who knows? But I'm just thinking that at some point I'd want to move away from it and still be able to benefit in terms of passive income from that platform. So I don't see that for Instagram. Those platforms are heavily intensive, meaning you have to always be doing content or you lose relevance. So you may have like 100K followers, but then your page will start to lose engagement if you're not consistently posting. So to me, those persons are the one who I admire because they do more work than I do, right? Because they're on the platform every day. I don't do videos every single week, though it may appear that way. I'm just strategic with how I do it, how I market it, etc.
So you said earlier that your videos are on average 1 hour, and there's a thought in the marketing world that long videos are not necessarily great, especially for long term. Yeah. So everybody, you have different people with their different ideas of how long a video should be on YouTube to get views. But I have sat down and watched a 3 hour video. On Saturday, I sat down and watched a 5 hour video on YouTube. So so what is the formula then for creating longer format videos on YouTube but still be able to get those views?
Okay, so for persons who don't know me, my niche is education, right? Financial education, investing, maybe entrepreneurship type content. So I think when persons are there to learn, they'll sit and watch. So if you think about the things that you may watch for more than 10, 15 minutes, it's usually something where you're learning about someone, learning about something, researching something that you're trying to implement. So if, for example, you're trying to figure out how to set up Facebook Pixel, right? You may spend an hour watching a tutorial to learn how to do that. So I think this idea that long form content doesn't work, I think it's always within the context, right? Maybe somebody's not going to watch an hour long vlog or an hour long piece of content that may be there to entertain, but then it really depends, right? Because if it is that you know what you are looking for, or if you are building that relationship with your audience, then they'll want to stay for that time. Majority of our videos are live videos, and when I started to cut it down from like 2 hours, some persons were actually complaining, like, wait, whoa, is the live finished already, right? And that was at like the 2 hour mark. So there are persons who want to know that you're there, that you're spending that time with them, and they want to hear from you on a consistent basis. So I think it works.
What is the most important element of YouTube that we often overlook, but it is actually a crucial element in your growth on YouTube?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I would say people underestimate the title. Well, it's actually a multi-part answer, right? So I think people underestimate. Well, before I answer that, let me just say this: if you're on YouTube and you're doing videos where you're getting 4 views or 10 views or 20 views or 50 views, I would ask myself, what do I need to change? Doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong, meaning your content itself could be valuable, but maybe the packaging is off, maybe the distribution strategy is off, maybe the marketing strategy is off. Now, I think for a small channel, you should expect consistently to get about 5 to 10% of the audience on, well, 5 to 10% of your subscribers in views, right? For your average video. So if you have 5,000 subscribers, aim for 500 views, right? If you have 1,000 subs, aim for 100 views per video. And the reason why you should do that is that, remember, once somebody subscribes, they're going to see your content every time you post. Now, you've been on YouTube, creators say like, you turn on post notifications, etc. And that's because if you think about it, we're all subscribed to at least maybe 100 YouTube channels. So it's going to be impossible to see all of those videos all the time. So YouTube will show you based on what you watch. Meaning if persons are subscribed to me, they're subscribed to Kalila, they're subscribed to NCB Capital Markets or VM Wealth or Mayberry or Barita, then if they just finish watching a video by Mayberry, they're likely to see a Learn, Grow, Invest video. So they don't necessarily have to be subscribed, but it's really based on what the user is watching. Right?
Yeah, so YouTube is gonna recommend that because of what you're watching.
Yes, and
okay,
you can get videos in your feed for channels that you're not subscribed to once you get the person to watch. So there are persons who may be on your channel for the very first time watching this video now. The next time they go on YouTube, they're gonna see another video from your channel, even though they're not subscribed, right?
Right.
So I said all of that to say persons underestimate the title, they underestimate the thumbnail, and I think they underestimate the strategy behind getting persons to watch the content, right? The last one more than anything else. And what I mean by that is some persons treat YouTube like a build it and they will come. Meaning I'm just going to post the video and people, will just have to find it, right? So that's what I see from the persons I've worked with. I've worked with quite a few creators to help them on their channels. Some have done well. Some have taken my advice. Some haven't. Not calling any names.
It's me, Matrem one fan, but continue.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a great platform. And I think it's, as I said, it can outlive you. So I think persons underestimate the value. And I've built YouTube as a business, meaning my channel is my resume, right? So companies who I work with, even persons who were there at our conference, they know of our reputation from YouTube, right? Because persons just see us being consistent, and really we've done it for so long. People only think of two names when they think about finance right now. So, and we're one of them.
And you're one of them. So, Kalila said something on her channel some time ago, and people they were in her comments acting a fool. What she said was she doesn't make a lot of money from her like social media platforms like Instagram and stuff. Where the real money comes in is her ability to transition the success that she has online. Because you can have 20,000, 100,000 followers online. How are you going to make money from that? So her ability to transition that kind of engagement and followership online into like real world opportunities is really where it's at, and you've been able to do that. So what are some of the things that you have been able to do to kind of transition your YouTube success into real world opportunities and sponsorships and big fancy conference and excitement? How were you able to do that? Because I'm still buzzed by the conference. So how were you able to do that?
So I tell persons that we got our first sponsorship when we had 2,000 subscribers. So it was we were very small, and what I was able to do is present value to that partner, right? And I think that's what it comes down to. You heard Tiana mention it, that the brands it took. So I look at it as a mutual partnership, right? You need my audience, I need your resources to continue to grow my channel, right? So as a small creator, you need the resources of a sponsor to get by while you're creating that content. And for us, I think I understand how to present value, right? Because I think there are persons I've seen with channels much larger than mine platforms much larger than mine. And just for maybe 2023, we did pretty well in sponsorships. Our sponsorships doubled from the year before. So
Double from what figure to what figure, Jermaine?
okay. So I can give you an overall figure. I won't say per year. Since we started in 2020, did our first YouTube video April 2020. Since then, and this is in Jamaican dollars, we've done maybe 15 to 20 million in sponsorships. So, I mean,
Wow.
yeah. So, and it's really based on, again, just presenting value. I think that it's really how you not necessarily negotiate, but how you present your own data,
For
right?
sure.
And persons don't know how to do that because, again, think about it. We had 2,000 subscribers and we were getting a repeat sponsorship contract at that point. So it's not based on your size, but we were able to know who our audience was, what their preferences are, right? So we're able to say to our partner, our audience looks like this, sounds like this, they're interested in this. This is how you can get value from them, right?
Yeah.
And it has worked for us. We do build a strong email list as well. So I have about 7,000 persons on our mailing list. We do build other platforms. We're actually, our second best platform is Instagram. We've been, I think we just hit 5K there. I'm gonna be trying Reels as Justin mentioned, but to me, it's like I don't see a clear plan yet for those other platforms. So I mean, it's just we think about it as a business, and I say we because it's me and Renee.
Yeah.
And so I would just say think about what you're offering, and just figure out how to provide value to both your audience and to the partners that you want to work with. I feel like
Awesome.
that's very, very long-winded, but hopefully
Yes.
that helps.
That helps. Jermaine, is there anything that you are going to be doing this year that we need to know about? Anything that's happening
Yeah.
that you want to?
So I'm actually going to be hosting a YouTube workshop. Created the outline just on Saturday. And I'm going to be helping persons to grow their YouTube channel as a business, right? So it's not about a lot of subs, but it's content strategy, business strategy, monetization strategy. And it's just going to be 20 spaces. And I'm really anticipating that the class may fill quickly, but it's just a test to see if there's interest. And maybe I'll have another one, but at least there's going to be one. And next is our conference in December, which we're going to start selling tickets in Q1. Tickets for our conference sold out last year, so that's why we're selling them earlier now so that more persons can be a part of it. And we just did, the final thing I'll say is that we just did an investment challenge last week. So check out Learn, Grow, Invest. It's a free 5-day challenge, and you'll learn everything that you need to know to invest on the stock market. And so we made that to start the year to hopefully just encourage persons to invest in a consistent basis. So that's what we have going on now. And of course, I'll be there for any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jermaine, for being here. I will be in that workshop because YouTube shall not defeat me. I will be in that workshop. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jermaine. Guys, if you have questions for Jermaine, drop them in the chat and I will get them to him and I will get the answers to you. Thank you, Jermaine.
All right. Take care.
All right. So we're running right into our next guest because we're a little bit behind and all my guests are now here. Bear with me. So up next, we have Kirk Buchanan, and Kirk is going to talk to us about Threads. Because, guys, if you have not been on Threads, there's some movements happening over here. It kind of died down after the hype, but there's some movements happening over there, and you guys should definitely check it out. So he's going to talk to us about Threads, and he's going to talk to us too about some general things that you can do if you're a small business or brand that you're looking to grow if you have a product especially and you're looking to kind of build out on social media, then yeah, he's one of the best persons to talk to. So welcome Kirk. Thank you for being here.
Hey, happy to be
Kirk,
here.
awesome. Introduce yourself and let's jump right in.
All right, sure. So my name is Kurt Buchanan. I create content around business strategies, mainly on YouTube. I did some Instagram as well, and now I'm doing Threads. Threads is going pretty good. You can follow me on all of those social platforms. You can see the handle on the screen.
Business strategy for Threads. What should we, if you're a small brand or a small business, what should you be doing on Threads? Because Threads is like a Twitter but less insane.
Yeah.
So it's not as fast paced, it's not as lurid as Twitter, but there's some really good conversations happening over there, and I find it easier to make connections on Threads. So what are some strategies that you can share with us to make connections and grow on Threads?
All right, so just a major disclaimer, right? So I'm not a major influencer on Threads. My following is currently at about 1,500. So it's not very large, but I'm consistent with it, and I've been seeing some growth over the past couple of weeks.
Right.
So Threads is great for conversations, right, and for connections. And I think the key to Threads is basically to just be on it and be engaging with people. My core strategy is to post like 1 to 3 times per day and to spend the rest of the time engaging with other threads. So once you do that consistently, you're guaranteed to grow. And the platform is built around that. So
Yeah.
if you want to grow on threads, that's what you should be focusing on.
So how do you find people to follow on Threads? Because you kind of come over with the people that you already follow or that already follow you. So how do you actively find new people that's within your niche or part of the audience that you're trying to reach? How do you find them? And then when you find them, what do you say?
So I don't think it's a push strategy per se. I think it's more of a pull strategy. So I'm not going out of my way to find people to follow.
Yeah.
But by creating valuable content, and I think this goes for every single platform, by creating valuable content, people will find you. And if they find you interesting, they're going to follow you. So the strategy is just to create high quality content around your niche and just let the people find you.
Okay, so what are some of the things that I should be talking about though on Threads? Because that could be where the sticking point is on Threads. What are some of the things I should talking about, and how should I say it? Because that's also kind of a sticking point on Threads. How you say something is going to be very important because it's a conversational platform, right? So what should I be talking about, and how do I say it? Should I be funny or try to be witty, or what's the persona that I should adopt?
So I would say that you should be yourself first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
Because my strategy may not necessarily work for you or anyone else, but be yourself. For me, I am very straightforward and strict with my delivery. So my third posts, as you will see, are pretty straight to the point, right?
Yeah.
Usually keep them very short, 2 to 3 sentences and straight to the point. But I've seen where people are much more friendly in their delivery, and it works for them as well, even if they're in niches such as business or finance. So it's all about being yourself. There is no rule, no one size fits all. So it's just about being yourself. And I think once you do that and people find you interesting, they will follow.
Right. Question, 'cause I know your background is e-commerce as well. So is there, if I'm an e-commerce brand, does that advice still stand? If I'm an e-commerce brand with products that I'm pushing, should I be posting my products on Threads, or should I just keep it conversational and not necessarily be trying to promote?
That's a very good question. And in my research, what I've been seeing is that you should keep your promotions and selling on Threads at a minimum. So what I usually go for, or what I tell people, is to do a jab, right hook strategy, meaning you give value for 3 posts or 4 posts, and then you can pitch whatever it is that you're selling. So that's a strategy that I recommend using on Threads.
So jab
For a
jab.
couple of
So the
reasons.
jab is what?
So the jab is basically just you giving value, right? Just
Okay.
having conversation, joining the conversations that people in your niche post, and not being too silly, right? The
Yeah.
right hook is where you make your pitch. That is how you should do it. And it can be jab, right hook. It doesn't have to be jab, right hook. So it can be 5 posts that are educational, friendly, whatever it is, and then probably your fifth or sixth post can be something about your products or services that you're promoting. So I find that that is what works best, and
Yeah.
that is what I recommend. People that are too silly on threads, generally what I see is that they get very low engagement because the community just doesn't like that. It doesn't resonate well. So you want to keep it to a minimum in terms of pitching your products and services.
For sure. And when I'm pitching my products or services, should I be like, here's a picture of what I sell, buy it? Or should I still keep that same kind of conversational tone and kind of influencer like style? Push the product
Uh,
in there or
Yeah, seamlessly integrating your products into your content is always the best strategy, right? So if you can create a decent piece of content and then you can find a nice way, a neat way to integrate whatever it is that you're selling in that content, that's going to work best. But I've also seen where people blatantly post what they're selling with their pictures or a link
yeah.
from their website to say, hey, this is available. And I've seen where they get good engagement from that. I don't have the numbers in terms of if they've made sales, but the engagements on those posts looks good. So various strategies can work. So you just have to test, basically.
Test. Do you think Threads is gonna grow this year, or you think it's gonna kind of plateau out? Because I mean, Twitter now is a different kind of
Yeah.
animal. So Threads is a lot more laid back, a lot more chilled. So it's kind of hard to get anything going over there because you're not chucking into the excitement and the mentions and stuff. So you have to put more effort in Threads. So because of that, do you think that is gonna fall off or plateau? Should I invest time and effort into building Threads? Am I gonna see any returns on that kind of investment this
So,
year?
so, so let me give it a short answer first, and then I'll give it a long
Yeah.
answer, right? So the short answer is this: Threads is going to grow, right? For a number of reasons. Now let's get into the long answer. For a number of different reasons, right? Meta have deep pockets, right? That's the first thing, and
Yeah.
it's one of their priorities. They want it to grow, which means they're going to be pouring a lot of money into it. So whatever it takes, they're going to do it, and Threads is going to grow. So they recently launched in Europe, right? In the EU.
Yes, because they had
And
an issue there. So now they're over there.
exactly. So that opens up a market of what? Say at least 300 million people at a bare minimum. Could be way more.
Yeah.
So we expect that a lot of those people will be coming onto Threads over the coming weeks and months. So it is going to continue to grow. Should it be a part of your strategy? Absolutely, yes. It's a new platform. The reach, organic reach, is high right now. Of course, we don't have the size like, say, a Twitter or a Instagram, but it will get there. And if you start now, as the platform grow, you will grow with it as well. So I'm investing in it, and I'm there daily. So if you guys want to hear me talk about business strategy, go follow me on Threads. I post every single day, and I'm there because I am fully committed to it, and I think it's going to be very big.
Awesome. Kirk, is there anything that you have going on that you want us to know about?
I would say just follow me on Threads. If I have anything important coming up, that's where I'll be posting it first. I have a seminar that I'll be doing in February, and I'll be posting the information about that soon. I'll be a guest presenter at a seminar coming up in February. So I'll be posting the details as soon as it's ready on Threads. So you can follow me, and that's where I'll be posting all my updates for anything that I have going on. I'm also on YouTube. I haven't been very active. I'm pretty close to 30,000 subscribers, so you guys can go ahead and sub to me on YouTube as well. But I'm coming back with a lot of YouTube content this year, so that's where you guys should be as well.
Looking forward to that because I liked your YouTube content. Thank you so much for being here, Kirk, and talking to us about Threads. All right, Kirk, take care. I'm so sorry, Kirk, I cut you off. So, guys, Kirk said that you thread should definitely be a part of your strategy in 2024. I know that is something that I want to really sink my teeth into. I like it over there. It's quiet, it's chill. You can hear yourself think. It's way less chaotic than the other platforms right now. And if for that reason alone, I'm gonna definitely give it a shot. So moving on to our very next guest, guys, we're going through them quickly. We have Anna. Anna is Anna is one of the marketers I have been following for some time because she gives really amazing, awesome advice about marketing. And what I love mostly about Anna is her insights. She has really deep, in-depth insights and things. I was like, I see that. I didn't notice that. You noticed that? I didn't notice that. But that's what she does, and that's what she does very well. And then right after Anna, we have Jody, who I follow on every platform at this point because I think she's absolutely amazing. She's gonna come right up after Anna. So let's jump right into it. Welcome, Anna. Hi, Anna, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. My
Hi,
Trini sister from across the seas. How are you?
fine.
I'm so happy to have you. I've been meaning to have you on the show for some time because sometimes you post some things and I'm like, I love the way your mind works when it comes to marketing. You've been doing an absolutely fabulous job piecing certain things together and giving us some very in-depth analysis in like a carousel. And like, how did you pack all of this into a carousel? And I noticed that as a strategy that you have perfected carousel. So tell us about that. What exactly is that carousel strategy that you've been doing on Instagram?
Okay, so I have been doing carousels since 2020 during the pandemic when that was the craze. Prior to Reels, that was the craze. Carousels. So you don't have to do 10 slides.
Mm,
No, that was the trend back in 2020 that you have to do 10 slides. Now you
yeah.
can do three, four, five. The key thing about carousels is like you use this to actually showcase your expertise, uh, as well as your ability to write in a conversational tone. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to do the reels and you want to share information, you can still prioritize the use of carousels. Don't just do carousels alone. You need to have a mix of content. So you need to have carousels, reels, as well as single posts. So
Mm,
yeah, and carousels actually keeps the person on the platform longer. That's the whole idea of carousels. That's why Instagram brought back carousels back onto the platform because they realized, okay, after Reels, it is consuming two, three, four, five, and then people were leaving the platform, going to TikTok, they were going to YouTube, they weren't staying. And the main factor what kept persons on Instagram was carousels because you actually have to take time to read and slide through, and that takes time. You have to read, you have to engage. So with the introduction of Reels, where we in the Caribbean, we took a while to get access to Reels, it is different. So your reels is based on the region that you are based upon. So if we are in the Caribbean, our reach, you'll find, okay, wow, this account got 25,000 views. And if you repost that same video in another niche, you would not get the number of views. So
mm.
your views, yeah, is also based on the region, same as TikTok. I am not in the Caribbean TikTok, I'm in the US TikTok, and it is so different. They have positioned me in the Black American small business niche. That's how should
Okay.
these algorithms have become. Yeah.
Mm. Is it
So
because of the kind of content you're posting? Why they positioned you?
also the content is based on your content. It's more technical in sense of your phone in terms of where you're based. So if you really want, yes, you can crack the and go out of your region at times, but
Mm,
to really access those global markets, you really have
mm.
to have a US or European SIM card. I learned this trick from one of my friends who has gone clear. on TikTok. He's actually based in Europe, and for him to actually get more views and brand deals and stuff, he actually had to get a US SIM card, and he did it and blew up. He's one of the most sort of persons for digital marketing tools. Anything to do with
Mm,
marketing tools, you will find him on TikTok and
mm,
Instagram. And that was
okay.
one of the lessons I learned on social. These are the things that they don't teach.
Right. Is that because in my mind that sounds like there's a bias towards a particular market.
That's how it is. Those were one of the secrets. Well, it's no longer a secret, but that's one of the things I learned from certain creators on TikTok. Because one of the guys, he's actually I used to follow, I still follow him, but I haven't been viewing his content lately.
Mm,
He actually was based in Colombia. He's American, but he's based in Colombia, and he actually saw the difference with him using his US SIM card as compared to a Colombian SIM card. So yeah, so that's one
so
aspect. Yeah. Hmm.
so what you're saying is that we in the Caribbean are already at a geographical disadvantage when
Yeah.
it comes to how these platforms distribute our content,
Yeah.
and just for the fact that we are in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is something I know that we historically we have not been able to get access to a
Yeah.
lot of these
Yeah.
features on these platforms that could really allow us to, like, well,
Yeah.
as Jamaica, let's say, boss big. um and we know that it's because they tell us sometimes that it's because of this or that, for this reason or that reason. I didn't know that that was like a
Yeah.
that's
Me
an
too.
algorithmic bias.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you saying that as Caribbean creators, we should be mindful of the content that we're creating, and we need to create content in a particular way where the
If
algorithm will push it to a certain market?
Yeah, so if you're looking, if you're that means you have to understand your goal setting. Who are you really targeting? So if you're looking to target global market, you have to
Mm,
interact with persons outside of the Caribbean. That's
mhm,
one major factor. You have to engage outside of the market. That's how I grew my audience from basically staying within the Caribbean and to go into a global market. I had to interact with persons in Africa, India, America, Canada, Australia. It was crazy. I guess the pandemic was like everyone was home and we just utilized the engagement at the time. But I had to go out of the Caribbean in order to grow and expand.
mm.
Would you believe I have more foreigners engaging with my content than locals and Trinis? Because Trinis don't like to engage on business content. As we would say, they like bacchanal
They like
drama.
Riri. Yeah, they
Yeah.
like Riri and except it's the same thing. It's the same thing in Jamaica. I think it's probably a Caribbean thing. Do you think one thing that actually helped you was the fact that you don't have Island or Trinidad, or in my case Jamaica or JA in your name?
Not
Do
necessarily.
you think that's a factor?
Factor, no, because there were a lot of Jamaican creators who I used to engage. You were one. There were two or three other guys who they went on to other things and their business expanded. They may not be on Instagram in a big way, no, but they moved on to other platforms. Their
Mhm,
business expanded, but they try other platforms and they continue to grow. So you don't always have to pigeonhole yourself in one platform. If you find like Instagram is not working out for you and you try another platform and it's going there, you can do that. But I would always tell business owners starting out, choose one platform and stick with it and grow. And once you have developed like a good audience, a good engagement, then you leverage that audience to another platform.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, that's avoid burnout. And have
Right.
posting here, post and trying to engage with say several different platforms and you're lost. So
Mhm,
like just try to like choose one platform, go all
mhm.
in. If it's with and if it continues to grow, you stay there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have that community that helps to grow your brand.
going back to your carousel strategy, because your carousel strategy is a little bit deeper, because I've seen where you're using the same carousels over on LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah,
And LinkedIn now, well, not now, but for some time now, LinkedIn has allowed you to post carousels, and you're getting the engagement over on LinkedIn as well. So is it the same carousel strategy that you're using for Instagram that you're also using for LinkedIn?
yeah. So what happened in 2021 is that many of the Instagram creators, when Instagram said they were no longer prioritizing um carousels and single posts, everyone started to move over to LinkedIn, and that's when they decided to open up the platform more to that type of content in a big way.
Right.
You see a lot of carousels, a lot of single. Now they're encouraging videos, which is really good on the
Mm,
platform. It's like even if you have video content on Instagram, you can repurpose it to any other platform. That's so great right now.
mm,
So, but in terms of the carousels, I would say use carousels if you want to attract a certain type of clientele. Two is just to showcase your expertise. If you don't like video content, I tell persons, if you don't like video content, if you want to start out the building, get people to know what you know,
mm,
do carousels. It's a great tactic, especially on LinkedIn. It's really good for that platform, because there are a lot of business oriented
mm,
owners there who actually
mm,
spend money, real
mm,
money, you, and they sometimes refer you to other businesses. So that's the
for sure.
plus side of using carousels. You never know who's watching, who's listening, who's reading.
For sure. Last question for you, Anna. If you're a boring brand, right? You're a boring brand. Your niche is very regular. There's nothing excitement there. You're not in the sports. You're not in beauty. You're not in fashion. You're not in any one of those niches. But you still want to create great content and attract an audience. What can I do to inject a little bit more entertainment or excitement into content if I'm a boring brand?
Okay, so my first brand I actually managed was back in corporate,
Mm,
an oil company. Imagine an oil company, social media, boring.
right.
Everybody get a job. So one of the social media sites, the oil company back then, was the social engagement with the community. So we would highlight community events, and as well as in things happening within the company. Like we used to have like interdepartmental games, giving back to the community. We used to highlight those things, and then part of the core aspects of the company was that they had sporting facilities and entertainment facilities. So my section of the department was we focused on the social aspect, meaning the entertainment and the sport, and we had to like market broken down facilities, run down facilities to get at least persons, employees to come back to using these facilities. Was really hard. Only one out of the 8 facilities was actually marketable, and the way I did it was like you actually try to get the family aspect of the community involved, or members of the or core members of the company who actually had um let's say like a manager of stuff who was
Yeah.
really within the company. They will
Mm,
help to drive members back to the club. It was really hard,
mm.
really hard marketing. I took that from zero to almost 5,000 followers in under 2 years. That's
Okay.
way back.
Right. So you're saying that if you're a boring brand, focus on the social aspect of the company, right? So like
Well,
highlight like the social responsibility elements and the things that you guys are doing, and
yeah.
use that to build community.
And if you're not corporate, and you actually really in a niche that is not doesn't get the high engagement on social media, and
Mm,
you're starting out, utilize stories, utilize your personal brand, share your story. Um, this is what Instagram is all about, or any other platform right now. They want to see you real because we are fighting against. I shouldn't say fighting against, but we have the invasion of AI, and everything's going to be computerized, monochrome. So you have to like differentiate. And one of the things what makes us different to some of the brands is that we in the Caribbean we speak with a dialect, or
Mhm.
then use our
Accent.
accent to differentiate from the standard English, because now the AIs will be giving you standard copy and to
Mhm.
differentiate it. That's one of the things I saw on YouTube. And one day this guy was saying probably curse words, probably those slangs are going to be what is
It's
going to differentiate you
8:30
from
p.m.
the typical standard English brands. And that
Right.
is one way to differentiate yourself going forward with the increase of AI, because you're going to say you have to have the right copy and you have to spell everything correctly. You have to make sure it is written well. But the accounts that actually gets the engagement, one of the key factors of Gary Vaynerchuk's brand was his ability to use expletives, and that made him stand out. People didn't realize that he was like being
Mhm.
real. This is how I communicate with you. Yeah,
Mhm. So you
and
just
that
have to be your authentic self, still show up as your authentic self, but be a little bit more social
and if you're and Jamaican
and play to your strengths.
and Jamaicans can do that really, really, really
Really
well.
well. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anna. Is there anything that you're doing that you want us to know about?
So currently, I'm working on relaunching of a private training for Instagram growth, marketing, social media marketing for those who want to learn about social media marketing, um, grow their brands on Instagram, as well as have a customized Notion workspace for your clients and for yourself. So I'm actually going to release a Notion, customized Notion template for anyone who want to build their content calendar on Notion, using Notion. It's one of the trending apps to have or to utilize in your business, and I'm going to release it so you can DM me on Instagram and you can take it from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. All right, guys. Last but definitely not least is a lady who has managed to grow her platform. I don't know if this was part of her strategy, but she has managed to grow her platform steadily, managed to grow her brand steadily across multiple platforms. So if you follow her on Instagram, if you follow her on TikTok, if you follow her on YouTube, the numbers are steadily growing. And you're going, okay, how are you doing this? Because you're one person. I don't know if she has a team or what, but she's prolific in terms of content creation. And what I love most about her is she's very authentic. She's very down to earth. There's no ears just going to say, this is what this is. And we love it. We love, and her transitions are getting better. She's gonna tell us how she do those transitions as well. Because I saw her transition, but she do one back foot kick something and put on one shoes and I go, wow, amazing, guys! Please help me welcome Jody Jody, the island girl. Hi, what's your
Hi,
accent?
Katie.
Let me tell you, this
I'm
girl
in my
always
uniform.
on
I'm in
10.
my uniform.
This
I'm in my
girl always
uniform.
on 10. Okay, what me can I say? Makeup and doll
Oh
up,
my
dolly down,
God. You found a
always,
dolly right
always.
now.
Right down. Thank you so much for being here, Judy. And I know we're running behind time. You've been here
Yes.
a while. Yes, you've been here a while. But I'm glad that you're the last person because
Uh-huh.
there's something unique that's happening with your brand. And I don't know if it's a strategy that you're employing or what, but your numbers are even right across the board. How did that happen? Is that a strategy you're employing, or is that coincidence, or what's happening?
At first, it was coincidence, and then when I realized what the coincidence was, then it became a strategy, if that makes sense. So it was
Yes.
like book up, and then you
Hmm.
realize, okay, I did this and it worked, so let me just wash, rinse, and repeat.
Wait, do. You don't have to tell us all that. Just give me the
no.
lie.
So so you're there creating content, right? And it's basically throwing something on the wall and see what sticks, basically. So whatever the content that sticks, because sometimes you're creating, you don't know how the audience will receive it. So sometimes I'm creating content and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this, but then I have to post it because that's what the brand wants. I post it, it does well. I'm like, really? And then you realize that, okay, then probably this is the type of content that my audience genuinely love. So therefore, they just go ahead and just basically repeat the same content then.
You rinse and repeat.
Delivering, yeah.
When I book you up on TikTok, the first video I saw was you doing like you remember Johnny used to go into the store, the Mega Mart store, and like show people. That was one of the first videos I saw, and you were at some store in Portmore, like Hellshire side or something. You're some store. I was like, guys. But what I loved about your video was that you were showing the stuff in the store and then showing the Amazon version of it and the price differences. And I was like, I absolutely love this because me have a problem with Amazon. So if I can find the stuff here, it makes more sense. But then you don't only do those. What do you call those? What's that kind of content called?
The type of content is really lifestyle. Lifestyle for me.
Because you do that kind of content where you're like going into stores and showing us some awesome stuff to like decorate the house, but then you're doing fashion hauls and you're doing wig and then you do makeup and then let me see your post about one restaurant. I mean, hold on. How do you your content strategy? What's your content strategy? How do you decide what content you're going to do on the different platforms?
All right, so let me give you a little backstory. For me personally, without tooting my own horn, beep beep.
Toot it.
Beep beep. To me, I can do everything but sing. And when I tell it to somebody, they say, you probably can sing, but you just don't know it yet. So I would consider myself, I always said them, say, jack of all trades, Jody of all trades. So I started really, but I was posting on Instagram, but I didn't take it that serious in terms of monetizing and stuff like that. It was like I was just feeling bored in 2020, even before I knew COVID would have been a thing. This was January in 2020. I just decided one Sunday, I'm going to do a video. And I did that video, and the video was like 6 minutes long. And it was like a try-on haul, clothing haul. And I did it. And fashion is always something I loved. Doing my hair is always something I love. I'm an only child. A lot of people don't know this, but yeah, I've always been doing my own hair. I've always been dressing up in my mother's stuff. My mom used to sew, so I used to make a lot of stuff and dress up my little dolly them and stuff like that. I've always loved fashion. I've always loved the beauty, and I'm also creative, so that's really lifestyle for me. So back in 2020, when I had a lot of time on my hands, when the world is so cheap, I found everything in my house to do. I reupholstered my chair. I went out and I bought some stuff for reupholstering or whatever, and I came home and I just did it and I posted it on YouTube. And I realized that, okay, people are engaging, people really like this, and I enjoy doing them too. So that's hence why I said, Jody the Island Girl, fashion, beauty, lifestyle. So anything that falls under either three umbrellas, I am going to do it because that depicts who I personally am.
And then the brand sponsorship started rolling in. Did you set out to be an influencer, or was that also a buck up? At what point did you realize that, so we can't do this influencer thing? Because all of a sudden, I see you come on TikTok and go, guys, I'm on set at the studio. I'm like, what? Doing commercials?
Let me tell you, as a matter of fact, I have been doing commercials for such a long time. But anyway, that's a story for a different day. But the question, where we started with the question again that you asked me before.
The question was the brand sponsorship start rolling in. So did you decide that you wanted to become an influencer, or how did that kind of come about?
No, because YouTube was the first corner. And as I said, I was doing my hair until one day a brand reached out to me, and this was a brand in China, and I didn't even understand it. And then I started doing research, and some person was saying it's possibly it's a scam. So I'm saying, well, they're not asking me to send them money. All they're asking me to do is to send here and ask me how much I'm gonna charge. I'm like, oh, I don't even know how much to charge them.
Yeah.
I remember going on YouTube and looking up. There's really not. I think it was just one video I found of a Jamaican content creator was basically giving you a ballpark figure of not what to go below, and I used that, and that was I realized at that time I was grossly undercharging myself. But you know, you live and you learn, and that was when I had 700 subscribers on YouTube. My channel wasn't even monetized as yet.
Mm.
So once you get one, then it's a chain reaction. It's a ripple effect.
Mm.
So
Yeah, because it's like social
started.
proofing, because one brand see another brand sponsoring and like, ooh, we wanna jump
work
on
with
this.
her. Yeah.
Especially because you're new and you're untarnished. You know, the mix up not reach you know, get cancelled.
Not yet. No, there's no yet.
But you're still
Yeah.
you're in good standing. And so they're like, you know what, let's take a chance on you. But no, Jody, you're a full-blown influencer. You're influencing everything. You're influencing food and ear and clothes and makeup. You are the makeup tutorial girl.
Yeah, that was one of the things I did as well, because in my past life I was a professional makeup artist. Like I used to leave my house and go to people wet face brides on their wedding day and stuff like that. So I've done it all. I tell you, I've done everything but sing, and I probably just don't know yet. But here, let me tell you, I hear you saying influencer. Now I have gotten a little better at receiving being called an influencer, because initially I would have always identified as a content creator. Because at the time when I started and there was content creation or content creators and influencers, they're two different people. And then the kind of stigma that sometimes went with the name influencer, I did not want that. But now I'm a little bit more, as I said, more receptive to being called an influencer. But if you should ask me, I identify as a digital or marketing content creator.
Why is that such a heavy title for you? Why is influencer such a heavy title? Is it because now there's kind of a negative connotation associated with influencing, or because you just see yourself as the creator of really awesome content and the happy coincidence is that now you can make money from it?
Yeah, a little, well, them say two things can be correct at the same time, and what you said a little bit, both are really correct at the same time. Yes, I love in terms of the content creation and stuff like that. That's hence why I really say that I am a content creator, and then the negative connotation that came with influencer. And then when you're an influencer, especially here in Jamaica, there's a certain level people are expecting you to be at, and I'm saying I'm not gonna call myself an influencer, and then I have to live up to the name of the influencer, wearing certain brands and being at certain places, and so hence I just said no. But as I said, no, I'm more receptive of it, because I know basically who I am. So yeah.
Where do you find the time? Do you do this full time? Where do you find the time? Because as I said, you have good numbers across all the platforms. You're doing numbers on all the platforms, and it's like for all your platforms are growing at the same time at pace, right? So where do you find the time? Because I saw a TikTok from you earlier today, and I see a TikTok from you on Instagram post. It's like, where do you find, how many of you are there? Where do you find the time? You have a twin? What's happening? Do you have a team that we're not seeing?
I am the head cook and bottle washer. And I've always been the type of person that and this is something I need to change. So I believe that me alone supposed to do it for myself, because if I ask somebody to do something for me, and then probably not going to do it the way I want it, because I could always contract somebody to edit. And I said, no, I film the content. I know how I want it to look. And it's something that I do enjoy. So hence that. But how I got started, yes, to answer your question, I am a full-time content creator. So remember, I started back in 2020. And when I got my first paid collaboration with just 700 YouTube subscribers, and I'm like, okay. Then more persons start reaching out, and then I have to be doing my hair now on a weekend. So I would come home on Friday evening, and I'll be doing one hair, then Saturday I'll do another hair, and then pull it out, and then Sunday I'll do another hair. And I'm like, all right, then if I could really do this, like really do this and get paid, this could actually be a thing. And I thought about it and I did it part-time for a year and a half. And when I realized that it's something that I can really make a living from, I just took the leap of faith, walked off my job for 12 years and decided that I am going to grab
that was a
side
big jump.
It was a big jump and I have not regretted it. There are some
Awesome.
hard days. You know, we
Yeah.
only show the glory days, or you guys may see the glory days, and that is what social media is all about, especially, you know, a person in my magnitude or whatever. That is what we project, but there's a lot as well, bad days. Just the same as you're in corporate, you have challenges and stuff like that. Same, but I really do enjoy it. So yes, I do it full time.
And you do it by yourself. So what are some of the tools that you use to create your content and edit your content? Because what I find fascinating is that you show different angles. You're not just like POV. There are different angles that you're showing. So you know, so you have to go set up this and do this and this.
Yeah. So initially I started off with my phone and I had an iPhone 7 Plus. At the time I think iPhone would have reached probably 10 or 11 or something like that. I had my 7 and I was working with the 7. Even when the battery done, I was working with the phone and the charger plugged in, and that took me a very long way. And until I decided, listen, I'm going to do this. And that is when I invested in a little vlog camera, a little Sony Z7. And that was because I said, you know what, let me get a camera instead of upgrading the phone. And I got the camera and then I just worked with the camera on the phone. It wasn't until 6 months ago I actually upgraded the phone from my iPhone 7 Plus. So that iPhone took a whole bunch of the pictures that you would have seen that helped me to reach here. So this one now, a message to my inspiring or aspiring content creators. A lot of them would reach out to me and they were like, but I'm gonna have no good phone, I'm gonna have no setup, and they complain. And I said, listen, you just start with what you have. Start with what you have.
And that's no joke. I came across a video today on YouTube of she sounded to me like she is from somewhere in Africa because she has that really heavy accent. The video quality was not good. The video quality was not good. The audio was good. The video quality was not good. In the video, she's telling me how she went from 46 followers to 40,000 followers in less than 5 months. And I'm like, but your videos are not good.
Not good.
She found her peoples.
She found her
She
people.
doing what she have, and she found her peoples.
So you could have the most expensive gadget, the most studious microphone, and the exorbitant setup. Yes, the quality matters, but the content also matters. You can have all of that and you're not relatable. Nobody's going to watch you.
Yeah.
Period.
For sure. So in terms of content creation, do you use your phone? Are you using, like, I know Justin earlier said you use CapCut. Are you using a tool like CapCut? Are you editing on your phone? What are you using to edit your content?
I have always edited on my phone from inception. A lot of persons are amazed that I do edit every single thing on my phone. I have a laptop here, I have a desktop here, but I have started with the phone. I'm a creature habit. So if it don't break, don't fix it.
You don't
so
fix it.
I have been editing on my phone, and a lot of those softwares are available. So I use iMovie. I do have an iPhone. So I use iMovie. I use CapCut. I use InShot. Those are my 3 main editing apps, and I just work with them, and it works.
Do you have a frequency with which you post? Is that a part of your strategy where you're like, you know what, I want to post twice a day on TikTok or 3 times a week or Instagram? Or what's the frequency of posts? And do you think it matters in terms of remaining relevant to your audience?
Yeah. To answer the last question, yes, it does matter. Not only to your audience, but the algorithm. And if you're not posting, you want to keep feeding the algorithm. So it is ideal that you post. But then the flip side to that is that when you post too much, then the algorithm sometimes push back some of your video. So let us say you want to post on TikTok maybe twice per day. Don't post one at 6 o'clock and then you post again at 6:30 or 7 o'clock. So for me, what I do if I know I have 2 designated posts, because sometimes I don't want to post like 5 times per week, but sometimes I have to post maybe 10 times per week because it all depends on the brand and what some persons have designated time that they want you to post. So if I know I have 2 posts for the day or 3 posts for the day, so I'll get up in the morning, I'll post at 10, and then I give this some time, I probably post at 2, and then I come again and I post at 6. So you want to, kind of give
Space
a
it
little
out.
space in
Yeah.
between. Yeah. So that's what one strategy that I came up with, and a little hint from my TikTokers as well. Post at 10 in the morning and 5 in the evening
Mhm.
for TikTok.
It's 10 in the morning
Yeah,
and 5 in the evening
5
for
in the evening.
TikTok.
Try that.
Okay. What about the other platforms? How often are you posting on Instagram and YouTube?
It's pretty much the same for Instagram. For Instagram, no, I am just posting because of posting sake, because it is very hard to grow on Instagram. It's very hard to get engagement these days on Instagram, because now I realize that Instagram basically has become the popular girl in high school. So only the popular people usually get pushed out, and so you probably just have to just post because of posting sake. Just tried my best. Same thing for YouTube. I basically repurpose whatever content, and it depending on if I'm working with a brand and they request a YouTube video, that's when I post on YouTube. Initially I started off with blogs and stuff. I really don't have the time to do that anymore. So just repurpose content, fashion and beauty content for YouTube.
Okay. So are you deciding that, okay, I'm gonna post fashion on YouTube, I'm gonna post maybe reviews on TikTok, or are you just repurposing across all your platforms?
Repurposing across all the platforms, because that's initially how I started. So the persons who are following me, that is why they follow. That are happy
So they become accustomed to a certain thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you choose the platforms that you decided to build your brand on? How did you choose in TikTok or Instagram or YouTube? Are you just listening like this is where everybody seems to be, I'm just gonna post?
Yeah, it's just where you started. When we started off with Facebook, and then after Facebook, then came Instagram. Everybody basically left Facebook, and came over to Instagram. That was a thing. Instagram wasn't a thing anymore. Well, YouTube came in between that.
Yeah.
And then for me, then I went over to YouTube. I was getting a little bit more traction on YouTube. Then it kind of did stop. I was a bit stagnant for a little while. And I just said, you know what? Let me try TikTok. So I always had a TikTok account. Last year, this time I was at 2,000 or 1,000 something followers. And I decided, you know what? If something is not, I don't think something is wrong with my content. So maybe it is the platform or the audience. So let me try another platform. I went over to TikTok, and I decided I'm going to be consistent as I was on YouTube and Instagram, and pretty much basically the same concept, and took it over to TikTok. And I am
And it blew up.
In 28,000 now. I was at 27,000 something on the weekend.
Yeah,
Cool.
you kind of blow up really fast on TikTok. Do you find TikTok easier than Instagram?
Definitely, way easier.
That's interesting, because it's usually the other way around.
I tell you, Instagram is a popular girl in high school.
Is it because of the kind of content?
Taking it with you.
I agree. Is it because of the kind of content you're posting on TikTok why you think you've been able to find your niche? Because your content is a lot more trendy and sexy and dale. So do you think it's because of that why you've been able to kind of find your peoples on TikTok easier than Instagram?
Yeah, could be. And then more persons are over on TikTok. It's short form is a little bit more, to me, entertaining. No, I spend most of my time over on TikTok, not because I've grown over there, but I genuinely enjoy that platform now. So if I go on TikTok, I know I'll be thoroughly entertained, as well as it's now a search engine. So now I'm learning unintentionally.
So you've now optimized your TikTok to be found then?
Pretty much,
for sure. And you're giving them the kind of content one, and I see you're using up a lot of the trending sounds, and you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
What advice? What is one piece of takeaway advice? And this is my last question, because I know you've been here a while. I'm going to let you go. Your last piece of takeaway advice for somebody who thinks that, you know what, I want to not necessarily maybe become a full-time influencer, but this is something I want to do. I think I have something to say, or I have something to offer, whether it's my fashion sense or whatever. I can do things with my hand. I'm very handy, because you do everything, as I said. What would you advise them in terms of getting started and in terms of remaining consistent? Because Janu, That are the biggest.
Yeah, consistency is key. That is one thing. When I just started, a lot of persons used to say it, and it just sound annoying to me. Like consistency, no, but it's for real, for real.
For real, for real.
Consistency is key. Yeah, consistency is key. Do what you love. Don't follow because you realize that Mary is doing something and Mary's channel blow up, so you're gonna do the same thing. You're not Mary. Mary is not you. Do your own thing. Your people will find you, maybe not as soon as quick as Mary's person found her, but they will eventually find you. And you want when you get that audience that you are your authentic self, because when you're not and you fake it and you grow and then you try to become yourself, now people say, but you change and never this many subscribe to. You're no longer that person. So just do you, and don't come and say that you want to do it because you want to be popular. Don't come for the kicks and the giggles and stuff like that. If that's what you come for, that's fine. The likes and the shares and the comment, that's okay. But if you genuinely love it, whether you get the likes or the comments, you find yourself doing it the same way. And I can attest to that personally. So you just, if it's something that you really love, just do it.
Just do it.
Let me just plug also. In November, I wrote 2 ebooks because that was one of the many questions that persons would ask, especially in Jamaica.
You write book to Jody?
Yes, a lot of Jamaican creators.
Oh my God!
Sharing any insights. So I do have 2 ebooks. Not sure if the where this is going. If you're,
I'll definitely share the links. Yeah, just send me the links and I'll share those.
In my link tree, and they click it and it takes you to my ebooks, content creation, and how to get paid and how to pitch the brand. And it's basically a guideline as to how I get what I get and I do what I do. And yes, I'm saying if you want it, then the information is there.
What shall I write book to? I don't know where you find the time, because even though you say you do it full time, there's only 24 hours in a day, Jody. I don't know how. Because for me, you're perpetually a road. You're perpetually there road. So I don't know how you're always doing it. By the way, your birthday look at.
Thank you.
Down, girl. It's like, golly. Next time, I'm going to talk to you about your skincare routine, because even though you do makeup, your skin is flawless.
Thank you.
Skin is flawless. You lies. And genetics. Jody, thank you so much for jumping on with me. I really appreciate you. You're one of my favorite TikTokers, and I just absolutely love your content. I think it's really amazing. And I'm actually proud to see you doing so well, given the kind of content you create and knowing that the algorithm can be biased sometimes. So I'm proud to see you growing and thriving on all platforms. Jody's not just growing on one platform, she's growing everywhere. And I'm like, go there, you love to see it.
And thanks to you too, Katie, for basically giving us a platform like this to come and basically talk. I really, really love this. And we can talk over here because maybe it's something that you probably want to look into other creators, especially on TikTok, to get them.
For sure. Because we're all still trying to figure out TikTok, because we seem to be stuck on Instagram. So we're also trying to figure out your TikTok. So I'd love to talk to more TikTok creators, because it's a science over there. It's a science. And y'all seem to have the formula. So all right, Jody, take care. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Welcome, my dear.
Guys, listen. That's it. I told you that I was going to invite some people on who they're doing the thing and they're doing it very, 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 very well. They're not just, we're creating content and it's okay. They're doing well. And not just in terms of content, but in terms of being able to attract opportunities to themselves. Because again, that is the trick for us creators and content creators in the Caribbean. The trick, the secret sauce is for us to be able to transition our online success into offline opportunities, and that only happens if we're remaining consistent. So listen, thank you so much for staying on with me and listening and asking all your questions. We really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who jumped on and gave their 2 cents. Guys, this is a series. I'm going to be continuing the Essential Guide to Digital Marketing in 2024. So this is really just on like part 1. I'm also going to be talking about video marketing and how to grow your confidence on video, how to start creating a strategy for video marketing, because regardless of the platform that you're on, video marketing is a thing. It's a big thing and it's a big deal on every platform. We're also going to be talking about how to pitch to sponsors to get brand sponsorships. I'm going to have people on to talk about that. And non-social media, because for some reason as Caribbean creators we tend to stick to social media, but social media these days they're not very good at converting anymore. They're not conversion platform. They're like at the top of the funnel, right? And so it's good for awareness and visibility, but not so good for conversion. So how are you, what's your funnel like? How are you, trafficking people from your socials to your other platforms where you can convert, like your email or your website, right? So we're going to be talking about all that too. So stay tuned to the next episode of Digital Jamaica Live, where I'll be bringing you more people and more information as I do, right? And of course, it's always good to have you here. You guys can message me, follow me, all that good stuff. Let's keep the conversation going, and all the links to everything that was said today is going to be up on Instagram tomorrow. Also was able to talk to Jared about LinkedIn. I'm going to post that video tomorrow. Jared couldn't be here because he's traveling, but I talked to him this morning. I'm going to post that video. And I also spoke to Sasheen about Devon House's marketing strategy, because it's working. It is working. And I'm going to be posting that video this week as well. So follow us. There's more to come, and I really appreciate you guys. So until next time, I will see you. Bye.